talking about any economy's growth, one of the important factors that are taken into consideration has always been foreign direct investment, also known as FDI. But in generality, people often do not understand what exactly is the meaning of foreign direct investment. Why is it important or why is it crucial for any economy? What are the advantages associated with it? What are the types of foreign direct investment, etc. etc. And that is what exactly we are going to do in today's class. We are trying to understand what exactly is foreign direct investment and all the associated aspects with special reference to that how it is important for Indian economy's growth. Hello students, welcome to Ecoholics. My name is Shubhangi Singh and we are going to understand foreign direct investment from scratch. Talk about foreign direct investment. What exactly it is, we have to understand that it is a type of investment. Now, what is an investment? Investment is when you particularly use your money to buy any asset. It could be a physical asset, it could be a financial asset in which in order to earn returns that you get more profit from it, you get certain returns from it, right? So foreign direct investment is also an investment, but this investment is made from somebody who is not part of our domestic economy. That is why it is made by a foreign entity. That entity can be a business, it can be a government, it can be an individual, and that investment is done in the domestic economy. So it is a foreign investor who would be investing in domestic economy. Another thing that you should remember in terms of foreign direct investment, that this investment is always in reference with physical assets. So that means the foreign investor is going to invest in the physical assets of domestic economy. And how does he do that? He does it by acquiring significant stake or outright ownership, and this basically serves as a mechanism, as a way through which companies, businesses get more capital, which allows them to expand their businesses. It can be into new regions, it can be into foreign regions, it can be for accessing new markets, foreign markets, and getting more resources, capital, etc. Now that we have understood what exactly is FDI, now let us understand what has been the timeline and how FDI has appeared in Indian economy's growth perspective. So before 1991, so you can see it in two periods, that is pre-1991 and post-1990. Why we are bifurcating it into two periods? Because in 1991, Indian economy introduced LPG reforms. Before this, our economy was a closed economy. That means avenues for foreign investment were limited or closed. But because of the liberalization, privatization, and globalization reforms, our economy was open and the options for foreign investment were greatly increased. So it was after 1991 that foreign direct investment played a very important role in Indian economy's growth, and at present India is one of the top destinations for foreign direct investment. If you are talking about services, if you are talking about technology, manufacturing, in all these sectors, India is one of the preferred destinations for FDI. We are talking about greenfield FDI, which is a type of FDI. So we bifurcate FDI into two types based on the establishment, right? So if it is a new business, if it is a new business, then it is referred to as greenfield FDI. However, if it is an already established old business which is already existing, it is referred to as brownfield FDI. So when we are talking about greenfield FDI, India ranks first in terms of greenfield FDI, and we have multiple initiatives so as to ensure that more FDI gets to enter India, and there is a smooth and transparent process for the same. So what are the initiatives? We will be looking into that also. But before that, let us understand importance of foreign direct investment with India's growth. India's economic growth has been up and down, but FDI is and has been an important contributor to this growth for several reasons. Let us understand those reasons. First one, capital inflow. Now, Indian economy has been characterized with one peculiar feature, that we have lack of capital is limited or lacking. It is difficult to expand businesses, scale businesses, or adopt new technologies. Then what do? We need more capital. Where can it be brought from? It can be brought from foreign entities. That is exactly what FDI facilitates. So FDI gets the much needed capital in the country, which facilitates the business to scale up, get new technologies, more job creation. Now, if foreign investment incoming, especially in labor intensive sectors like manufacturing, services, it leads to creation of jobs, direct jobs as well as indirect jobs as well. It further also facilitates technological advancement. So if a foreign investor is putting his money in a domestic company, he would want it to perform in a very well manner. He would want to bring in the best practices. He would want to bring in the best technology, and that promotes transfer of advanced technology from one country to another, which helps in enhancing the managerial practices, also raising the standard of technology innovation in the local industries. All of this directly supports infrastructure development. It supports the development of roads, power plants, ports, etc. And once there is capital inflow, job creation, technological advancement, infrastructure development, it leads to overall economic stability. Every economy has two important influencing factors: domestic factors and foreign factors. International factors, we can call them as well. So, if there are any negative impacts of domestic financial institutions, they can be mitigated through the investment that is being brought in and through the impact of the FDI. Now that we have understood the importance of FDI in this context, now let us move ahead and understand what are the policy that have been taken up so as to ensure that FDI inflows increase. One of them being Make in India. Make in India was launched in 2014 to make sure that India becomes one of the top manufacturing destinations across the world, and it has led to 57% increase in FDI equity inflow, especially to manufacturing sector. Other than that, India has also focused on multiple bilateral investment. That means we are making one-to-one investment treaties with nations so that there is enhanced cross-border investment, and it also keeps in mind the main vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat as well. FDI in space sector has also been facilitated. Before that, there was not 100% FDI in space sector, but now certain space related activities have been allowed 100% FDI. Another successful scheme in this context has been production linked incentive scheme, aims to boost manufacturing, especially white goods. What are white goods? White goods are electronic, long, durable goods like air conditioner, LED lights, and all these have been given investment incentives and support so as to ensure that FDI to our country, to these specific sector, gradually increase. Now let us move ahead and also understand types of FDI that exist. First, we have understood types of FDI based on establishment. We have already understood greenfield FDI or brownfield FDI. Now, we are moving to understand several forms depending on the nature of investment. So, first we have horizontal FDI. If the foreign investor is establishing the same business in the domestic economy, then it is said to be horizontal FDI. Let us try and understand by an example. Let's just say Walmart decides to invest in DMart in India. It is the same business, that is horizontal FDI. If we are talking about vertical FDI, it is not the exactly same business, but a different stage of business. Let's take an example again here. You know Volkswagen? Volkswagen is a automobile manufacturing company. An automobile manufacturing company decides to invest in JK tires in India. Now, it is a different business, but it is associated with the automobile manufacturing in terms of stages of business. Now, if the company is investing in a different stage of the business it is already operating in, then it is referred to as vertical FDI. Then conglomerate FDI is the easiest. That means the business is investing into a totally different business and it is not associated with their present business. For example, Walmart is investing in JK tires. That is a totally different business. So this will be considered as a conglomerate FDI. Then platform FDI. Now, it is a different FDI in the context because here the foreign investor uses the domestic economy only as a platform so that he can manufacture goods here and then he can sell it in other countries. So it operates only as a platform and that is what is referred to as a platform FDI. For example, let's say Nike. Let's start writing here. Nike decides to invest in a factory in India which specially makes leather shoes. Nike is not into much leather shoes. For what? So that it can be sold in Southeast Asia. Now this will be considered as a platform FDI. Now moving to understand FDI routes that exist in India. There are two types of routes. Very easy to understand. The first one is automatic route. So when I'm talking about automatic route, it is basically that does not require government approval. So if there is no government approval required, the company can directly invest in Indian companies. It is referred to as automatic route. Certain sectors, they need approval from the government first. They cannot have the investment automated from a certain sector directly. So that is why investment in these sectors, they are important for the economy in terms of security, regulatory concerns, and therefore government approval is required. That is why they are referred to as government route. Now, automatic route is given to those industries which are open to FDI or which we want to boost the inflow of FDI. For example, agriculture and animal husbandry, telecommunications. In India, we have these several sectors which are open to FDI: banking and finance, civil aviation, pharmaceuticals, construction and real estate development, etc. But there are certain sectors which are restricted in terms of FDI, and you will find them that they have FDI through government route. For example, atomic energy, government and private lotteries, gambling and chit funds, railways, tobacco production, etc. Now, we will also see certain recent examples in terms of notable foreign investments. For example, we have Google's investment in Geo platform. Google has acquired 7.73% of stake in Reliance Geo, and it is a landmark investment if you are talking about technology sector for our own economy. Furthermore, there are many private equity investments also from companies like Blackstone, BPA Equity, General Atlantic, and they have invested in various Indian companies, has facilitated India in terms of innovation and growth. And all of this has led to the advantages such as increase in India's GDP, facilitating creation of million jobs, essential infrastructure development, and also access to advanced technologies. And we are able to see the advantages of FDI pouring in India as we require it to make sure that there is growth in Indian economy. But is everything all good about FDI? Do we not need to worry? And there are no disadvantages associated with it. There are disadvantages associated with FDI that we need to understand before making sure that we are over dependent, that we have over reliance over foreign investment. What are those disadvantages? So, if we are talking about FDI and if we have over dependence, excessive dependence on foreign investment, that means the control over industries and resources will be in the hands of foreign investors, and the domestic factors will lose control. Do we want that for an economy? Do we want our economy to be that exposed that we do not have the control of it? We do not want that. So we would want to make sure that we have control, and that is why there shouldn't be over reliance on FDI. Dependence is fine, but excessive dependence is not. Anything in excess is not good. So is FDI. Furthermore, as we know that resources are limited, that is something very fundamental that we understand. Resources are limited, and these limited resources will be utilized by domestic companies. And if we open FDI, then they will be utilized by foreign investors also. Then there will be competition. There will be competition in both of these for the limited resources, which might affect the domestic companies or local businesses in the long run. Other than that, because investment is incoming to the domestic economy, there is a lot of interconnectedness in the economies. So let's just say, for an example, there is a lot of FDI coming from UAE to India. Because of certain reasons, UAE enters recession. That means their growth is not increasing, their GDP is not increasing, their demand is decreasing, and they would want to retract their investment. That means Indian economy will also start to suffer. This is happening only because of interconnectedness. So this excessive dependence on FDI makes the domestic economy more prone to global economic fluctuations and downturns. So when we are looking at the advantages of FDI, it is very important to make sure that we keep in mind that there is no over reliance or excessive dependence, and we are able to reap the benefits of the advantages, and we can minimize the disadvantages to the maximum. I hope all the aspects related to FDI are clear. Thank you for joining in. For more such sessions and content related information, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.